welcome to the You Dab Me At Hello podcast, Table for Three. Tonight, we are doing a different thing. We're doing a new thing.
Yeah.
What are we doing tonight?
Talking about food because I eat like a fat kid.
Yeah.
Hey,
like food.
decided,
Everybody likes food.
we've been loving doing the tournament brackets. We've been loving talking about entertainment. But what goes best with entertainment is eating and food. Actually, really, we just wanted to talk more about New England and Rhode Island. So in the mix of doing our normal entertainment and tournament brackets, we're going to sprinkle in a little bit of Parmesan cheese and a little bit of salt. No, but we're going to talk about the best things about New England. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about restaurants. We're going to talk about places to go. We're going to talk about our favorite spots to go to the bathroom in Rhode Island. But tonight, we're not talking about bathrooms.
Definitely Cumbies on Route 6.
That's not in my
That is my
anywhere.
pit stop on the way to your house.
That's my pit stop anywhere I go from Rhode Island back to home.
Remember when Cumbies was just a hole-in-the-wall gas station and they like barely had anything, and now it's like the Walmart of gas stations.
Yeah. So that family sold the business to like some other business. I don't know how to explain it.
Usually, yeah.
But the other business
They
had a lot of money.
sold it to other
They sold it
people
to
who now own it.
a robot.
They I heard they got money for selling it.
They did.
They don't own it anymore because they sold it.
Yeah. But can I say that
business.
I know that was definitely stock footage that you put there at the beginning with the pasta, because you don't eat anything with tomatoes or chunky like tomatoes in
true.
it. So that's definitely
That is
not
true.
from you.
However, I've graduated, so I used to not even touch it if it had chunkiness. Now I can separate the chunkiness as I eat. So we're pretty good now.
Baby stuff. Baby stuff.
Yeah, baby.
That's so hilarious.
But anyways, hey, we're gonna talk about food from one picky dude and two other guys as we talk about.
Andy's got to be worse than you.
No, it depends. Me and RJ are both picky eaters, but like we each have our own oddness. Like Mike, you seem to eat anything. I've seen you eat some of the spiciest things. I forget where we were. Snookers, I think, was that Providence?
Yeah, I think so.
And you were like,
Wool
"What's
Hall?
the hottest flavor you have?" And they gave it to you, and you were just like, "It's not too bad." And it was literally burning my nostrils. I was sitting next to you. I'm like, "How are you eating this?" Like, that would have destroyed me in so many ways.
Listen, spicy food's very good for you. You don't have to go nuts like me, but eat some spicy food every once in a while. It's good for the blood.
I had a mild buffalo sauce tonight on some chicken. And,
there you go.
And some pain.
What?
In the heart.
Buffalo
heartburn.
sauce? What?
Yeah. Homemade buffalo sauce.
Oh my gosh.
Andy gets nauseous on horseradish mustard. It's a bit much.
Just saying that word.
He's from Connecticut. Spice is salt. So that's about it. And if you put too much, he's not going to eat it.
Garçon, please take this back to the kitchen.
I see a speck of pepper. Send it back.
It's when he has dinners in Greenwich. But hey, we're not talking about Connecticut tonight because they don't know food like Rhode Island knows food. It's funny. Growing up, I used to think Rhode Island was terrible. I didn't like Rhode Island. I wanted to get out. I did get out for about 4 years, and all I did was talk about how great Rhode Island was for 4 years. So I came back. But I have grown to love the food of Rhode Island. When I was a kid, you used to just eat it like McDonald's and Burger King or just, no mom and pop places. It was like Fridays and Applebee's. And as I got older, I'm like, oh, there's actual good restaurants that are born and bred in Rhode Island. Not that I still like Fridays if you want to sponsor us. But we're going to talk, I think mainly, I looked at the list. I think it's mainly mom and pop shops, or at least Rhode Island born and bred.
Yeah. We tried to stick to the New England. Some of these restaurants could have multiple locations, but they're in the New England area. For me growing up, I was the same thing. Like, oh, there's nothing to do in Rhode Island. I've been out of Rhode Island for 10 years, and I'm looking at these restaurants and I'm like, I need to go eat. Like there's when you grow up on something like that's, you look forward to that the most, or miss it the most when you move out of there. So sorry, I miss food more than you, RJ.
Well, we got a number of good restaurants. I think we're going to talk about specifically 9 restaurants in no particular order. And then at the end, as always, we'll talk about some special ones that we didn't get in the mix. But these are 9 restaurants. We each chose 3. And we had to go there, obviously. So 3 that I chose versus Andy versus Mike. One of us went there, if not more than one. But if you guys have any comments, if you guys like the places that we're choosing, if you think we're missing out on places, feel free to comment below.
I think there's plenty of places that people will say that were missed. These are just our favorites, things that we enjoy. Not to say that there's others that we don't enjoy. These are just our favorites of a number of places in Rhode Island. Like, I don't even think we even got to Federal Hill. Like, I know, Mikey, I think you had. I don't know.
I had Andino's on my list, but it got knocked out of my favorites. But yeah, Andino's was on there originally.
You can just walk up
this
there.
This is not a tournament. This is not a top 9 per se. It's just, hey, try these 9 restaurants first. And then there'll be plenty more. Who knows? Maybe we'll do another episode. I know we're going to do another episode on like dessert places. And I mean, in Rhode Island, you could probably do a whole thing on donuts alone. So
you could.
Yeah, I know. I've been to all of them
today.
Until we decided dessert places, I was gonna throw some donut places on the restaurant one. That's how much I like them. But today we are not doing any.
You're gonna see him pull out a donut in the middle of the episode.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
Real life Homer Simpson.
I've eaten donuts on this podcast before, guys.
Yeah, you have actually.
Yeah,
actually, a whole thing of donuts. Which is why I'm currently on Weight Watchers. Thank you for sponsoring us, Weight Watchers, tonight. No, they did not. I actually gained weight this week on Weight Watchers because I went away to New Hampshire this past weekend for a bachelor getaway. Nothing sexier than 6 guys in an Airbnb. So it was a fun time. No, we were all ugly, but it was fun. But the food, again, New Hampshire food, it's not Rhode Island food. So let's talk a little bit about it. Did you guys have any experience working in food places growing up?
No. I always told myself, no matter what job I do, I don't think I could work in the food industry. And I don't mean that in an offensive way towards anyone that does. I just don't think that I would be able to handle the stress, the hustle and bustle, and then having to worry about all of the, cleaning and it's too much for me. I never wanted to do it. Ever.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's way too high stress for me. Not to say that my current job is a high stress, but like that environment, like when you're just like constantly running around, and I'm one of those people who I have to rehearse what I'm ordering many times before I say it. And if someone's saying, hey, here's my order, like I will forget. Like, give me 3 seconds and it's already out of my mind. Like Tina tells me, like, this is my coffee order. I want this, this, and this, and this. And I'm like, send me a text message. Because by the time I walk out this door, I won't remember. So
yeah, I sadly had too many food jobs growing up. I worked at Burger King for 1 whole month. And I think there's a statute of limitations on this, but I ate a whole lot of Hershey Sundae pies in the fridge while my friend Doug was a lookout. It was good stuff. And
also why you're on Weight Watchers.
True. It started there.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
No, that was my first job ever. I think I was like 15 and a half, maybe 16 years old. And then I did Subway 3 different times. I was a sandwich artist, had a diploma. Good stuff. I think that's...
I don't buy it.
That was the major... Oh, I was a corporate chef, too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was a corporate chef for 3 years. But I was in Massachusetts. but I cooked a ton of food that I didn't like, so it was good.
RJ, lived when he was he had a basement room, so like when he was at home, you could just walk in and just go hang out in his room until he came home. Like it was just like a free for all. Like if he had anything worth stealing, like anybody could have stolen it, but it's RJ. So like he would come home after Subway and you'd smell the salami before he even got into the door. He would jump right in the shower and come out, and
it was bad.
Still smell like salami.
Another reason I don't want to work in the food industry.
Subway,
I like to eat food, but I don't want to smell.
Working for Subway, you would think it's fresh, it's nice. You smell like wet dog bread forever. Like whatever you wore to Subway, you will never wear again, other than to Subway. Like, and that's with your regular clothes. If I dare you guys to go to a Subway and just stay there for an hour. Like you leave there after an hour, you smell like Subway for the rest of the day. It's terrible.
Do you think we have to like bleep their name out? Like,
no,
when we edit this?
We're literally going to be talking about 9 or more restaurants by name and address. We may even give phone numbers away.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be leaving those restaurants smelling like salami. So,
I mean, you may. Maybe you're choosing Big Johnny's Salami Bin over on.
I think.
Is that a restaurant?
No, but trademark that right now. Big Johnny's Salami Bin.
Yeah, they sell turkey. That's it. It's turkey sandwiches.
Though I think, to be fair, any like place that you work and food, you're gonna smell like the food naturally. Like
that's true. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Subway. I actually go to the Subway at the Warwick Mall quite often. My kids are obsessed with it. My kids, when we told them we were doing this podcast, they're like, Chipotle better be on that list. I'm like, I've done you wrong. All you know is like Chipotle and Red Robin. So
yeah, what is it with kids? Like my son loves Chipotle. So the other night we didn't want to go to Chipotle, but Kate decided she was going to try to make him a quesadilla that was as close to Chipotle as possible. He also loves turkey and cheese at Subway, and Chili's for some reason is like one of his favorite restaurants. I don't understand. There's nothing like unique about Chili's that would make a child want to go there, but he is obsessed with Chili's. I don't understand.
For my kids, if there's mac and cheese or a grilled cheese on the menu, it's their favorite place ever. And they all made the same way. It's like no different. Literally, I go to one place, I don't remember which one it is, but they serve Kraft macaroni and cheese. It says Kraft on the menu, and it comes out. It's the Kraft. It's a microwavable.
That's Big Johnny's Salami Bin. I'm pretty sure. It's just a bit of salami.
We should get down to it. Who wants to start here tonight on the top restaurants of Rhode Island?
Andy is the only one not in Rhode Island. Why doesn't Andy start and talk about what he misses the most?
All right, I'm gonna go with one that I don't really have a lot of information on. Besides, I always want to go back to this place whenever I go back to Rhode Island. And that's King's Garden on Rolfe Street in Cranston. Classic Chinese food. I've lived in a lot of different places, and I haven't found any other Chinese food place that matches what they offer. For me, now I love meat, chicken, beef, whatever. But for me, what I get all the time there is they have a meatless chow mein. I have not found a chow mein anywhere else that compares to theirs. So you basically get the combo with fried rice, which I'm a big rice guy too. And I'm maybe odd. Tina thinks I'm odd. I mix the chow mein with the rice together, so it makes this one massive plate, and they give like a lot of food. And I put a little bit
to do that?
I don't know, but I do it, and I don't care who judges me. It's so good. I put a little soy sauce on there, just a little bit, just to give a little bit of salt kick. Yes, I do like salt. But that's like my favorite. I can smell it. And it's, I think family run, just a very classic environment. You feel you at home when you're there. Tina likes the poo-poo platter. Get some beef teriyaki, stuff like that. They're really famous for their dim sum, I've never had before, and they're also they have dumplings as well. I think Rhode Island Monthly this past year said they were one of the best spots in Rhode Island to get for dumplings. What's in a dumpling? Anybody know? Just like
I think
stuff?
you can. I think they have fillings. I think there's like a pork, beef.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like trying to think of like what a dumpling was in my mind, and now
I think so. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. So great place, good prices.
Where is King's Garden, by the way? Is that the one on Rolfe Street?
On Rolfe Street, yep.
Nice. Yeah, Rolfe Street, if anyone hasn't been there, Rolfe Street in Cranston, when we were kids, the only reason you went on Rolfe Street was there was a 5 and dime NACO store or NECO store.
Yeah.
And it was an awesome little store. You can get candy and stuff when you're,
so you get baseball cards and football cards.
And there was a breakfast place. I can't remember what it was called, but breakfast on Rolfe or something. But it was right next to King's Garden. I didn't like Chinese food when I was younger. I didn't kind of branch out into that until later, but everybody I knew was going there when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. It's always busy.
Love Chinese food.
Cool. So, Mike, have you been there?
I have not, but I kind of want to try it because we've been sort of running out of Chinese food restaurants to go to. I feel like we've tapped all the resources over here in Warwick. So
yeah, there's some good ones. There's some good ones in Warwick when we were living there. We're in Cranston, back in Cranston now, so that's probably close enough for us to order from.
Yeah, for sure.
One of our favorites is Apsara, which is kind of Providence Cranston line, but
we keep planning a day. We keep planning a day where we're all going to get together once we're all vaccinated. So you know where we're ordering from, most likely.
Yeah.
King's Garden. We're trying it out. So, hey, try out King's Garden. That's down on Rolfe Street in Cranston, Rhode Island. They just redid Rolfe Street too, Andy. You haven't been down there in a while, but they ripped out all of the older trees and they put in new ones and stuff. And I think they redid the whole road as well. It looks so weird going down because you can see everything now. All the bigger trees are gone. So, all right, moving on. Mike,
cool.
What do we got?
I'm going to start with the most important meal of the day. And that is a breakfast diner. And Nana knows this one because Nana used to take me all the time when I was a kid. Jigger's Diner in East Greenwich. It is very cool. It is a train car that was converted into a restaurant, which, isn't really anything new, but, it's kind of unique up here. It started out as just like a little cart back in the early teens. 1917 was when he started the business. His name was Vilgo Lindbergh, and his nickname was Jigger, so that's why it's called Jigger's Diner. But over the years, sort of built it up, and it kind of came and went, in and out of business here and there. But up until that's not them. Up until the 80s, it kind of operated as it is now, and then sort of changed hands. But more or less, the inside has stayed the way it is. So it's pretty cool. You've got your booths and you can see you've got your stools there. So, you can go in by yourself and have a quick breakfast. You can go in with your family. All the breakfast food that I ever had was fantastic. Food always came out great. I would get the 2x2, which is basically, 2 eggs, 2 bacon, 2 sausage, 2 pieces of toast, a coffee. And it was so good. Never ever had bad food there. Service was great. Everyone that worked there loved working there. I think just based on the fact that it does have some cultural ties, to the town, because it's where it always was. So it's the only downside is the parking is awful. Trying to find somewhere to park, especially on the weekends, because they only do breakfast, so they close at I think noontime or 1 p.m. And they do sort of like an early brunch lunch kind of thing, and then they close up shop for the day. So it's cool to kind of go downtown East Greenwich, have breakfast, and then just hit up all the shops, and kind of make a day out of it. So it's very cool. I always enjoyed going there. Nana and I used to go there probably every other weekend for many years. So, it has some sentimental value as well. But yeah, go check it out. It's awesome.
Now, how'd you get your eggs done?
I get them sunny side up. I like to poke the yolks and then dip my toast in it.
You're like Tina.
Yeah.
I got to get my scrambled. I'm like...
Tina's the best.
I see the O come out of the egg, and I'm like,
so good though. Yeah, Kate doesn't like that either. She says I'm gross, but
I'm sure it tastes fine. Yeah.
It tastes great.
Yeah, Main Street in East Greenwich became a place I went to quite often. I lived in Warwick over on Main Ave, and two of our favorite donut places are past there. You have Need Donuts, which is over there, and Master Homemade Donuts in North Kingstown. But there's some great places in on that main street in East Greenwich, including that place, which funny enough, I drove by there so many times. I'm not sure I ever saw that diner, but
it's sort of set back a little bit and wedged between two giant buildings. So unless you know exactly where it is, you won't see it. You will not see it. And just for clarification, the parking is gross, not the food.
Yeah, the yolk.
But yeah, no, it's a great area, and my wife is in love with diners, like the old school diners like that. So that'll be a place we definitely try out soon.
Yeah, it's awesome, cool atmosphere. Nice. It's awesome. What do you
got? Next up, we've got my first pick, which is going to be the Warwick Treehouse Tavern and Bistro. This is over kind of near Route 2 and I think Quaker Lane is where it is. But Treehouse Tavern or Bistro, it's this awesome little farmhouse that they made into a diner or a dining area. It's all comfort food. You can get like a crock of mac and cheese. There's ice cream sandwiches there. There's pulled pork mac and cheese. And it's right along Route 114 in Warwick. And it's super charming. Like it's a date night, but it's also a cool place to bring your family to. There's indoor seating in the farmhouse, and every room in the farmhouse is done up differently. So you can sit in like the living room or the dining room area. And in the back, there's a barn out there, and they have outdoor seating with like fire pits and different things like that. So sorry, I'm talking, and at the same time, I'm going to try to show you what I'm talking about as well.
Ooh, who did that picture?
That picture was made by a world famous Rhode Island photographer, me. It was actually it was on a date night with my wife, my lovely wife. So we went there, and my wife. So that was actually right there in the dining room, I think, or the living room. There was a fire place in the back there. It was very cool. But it was a great little place. A pulled pork and mac and cheese, amazing. And then they also have the back area there where you can sit. You can actually sit there, I think, and either just grab a drink pre-COVID and post-COVID. You'll be able to just go out there and grab a drink. They have a full bar there as well. But I think during COVID, you have to actually eat as well. But all that stuff is set up in the back there. It's pretty sweet. There's a barn in the back that you can eat in, and I've done that once with my family. We brought my parents and I think my brother out there as well. So just a ton of really cool stuff. They call it the Treehouse Tavern because there's actually a treehouse, right there on the tree. You can't really see it in that picture very well, but there's a farmhouse there, and again, great food. The main woman who owns it is her and her son, and they've owned it for a very, very long time. But what's also cool is not a lot of places do this for dessert. It's all on display. They actually bring over a plate with all of the different desserts that they have, and they're super good.
That's because they're hoping you'll buy like 5 of them because
RJ will.
That's true. That's true. And for people who want other things, I know I mentioned the pulled pork mac and cheese, but they got burgers. They've got lobster BLTs, which are awesome. They even have treehouse wieners, which are 3 hot wieners made up. Only in Rhode Island can you go to a semi-fancy restaurant and still get wieners. But they've also got the pizza, and they've got lamb and beef stew and duck breast. So it's one of those places you can actually take a really nice date there, and at the same time, you can just bring your family. It's well priced. So that's my pick for that one.
Well, I feel like we're gonna keep saying you can get wieners like wherever, and people who are not from Rhode Island are gonna go, what are they talking about? Google wieners. And
No,
find
don't
out.
Google
Oh,
wieners.
no, you can't do that. Okay.
No, don't do that.
All right.
Andy shouldn't be talking about wieners because number one, he doesn't like them.
Yes, I do.
Every time you come to Rhode Island, like, we got to go get wieners, and you're like, nah, I got to take my antacid first.
Well,
like
that doesn't mean I don't like them. Listen, if I'm gonna have them, I literally need to eat them on Sunday before my week off because my stomach is not what it used to be when I was a kid. But I love
Thanks,
hot wings. Man, especially more onions, the better. Like, chop.
That's
up
the only
as much
thing I
onion.
don't get on them. I remove the onions off. So.
See, you're not a real Rhode Islander.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah. Just a public service announcement before we move on to the next thing. Do not Google wieners.
But you can Google wieners.
Yeah,
Rhode Island accent, and you'll definitely find them.
Also known as gut busters or gaggers as well.
Yes, which not any better.
Also, don't
let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. See, Mary Lou gets just 2 all the way. That's usually I used to get 3 all the way, and I can't do it anymore. I'm not a young pup anymore. So 2 all the way with a side of small fry. You get 4.
Can we just veer off for a quick second here? Favorite wiener restaurant right now? What is it?
Well,
I've only gotten them from New York system, Onlyville.
Okay.
The one in Providence, I favor more, but the one in Cranston's good too.
Okay. You know what? That's not what, and I know that's not on our list, so I'm gonna say that's not one of my favorites. Mine is actually. Oh, it was.
It was in my list of when I had more than
the finished one. Not the finished list, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Rich, thank you for bringing that up. Spike's actually they do a hot dog, but they actually do a hot dog with weenie sauce on it. It's super good. I actually just had one last week.
That sounds good.
Anyways, moving on. Who's next?
Yeah, don't eat them in your car. Yeah. That is great advice because the grease is already coming out anyway. But
I had a Pontiac and it had that middle console that raised up in the front seat, and I stuck the hot wiener wrappers in there, closed it, forgot about it for like a week. That car never didn't smell like wieners.
So your car smelled like salami and wieners. Wiener Rama,
that car, right? Wiener Rama went right to the junkyard.
Yeah, everybody loves Wiener Rama. I haven't been there.
Good.
That's on my list to go to. But again, I'm planning my vacations around.
Wiener Rama is good.
Smith Street Wieners was bought out by. So they're the oldest wiener in Rhode Island. 1912 or 1914. They were bought out by another family, so now it's called Baba's Hot Wieners. It's right on Smith Street near the Capitol. Super good. Somebody just mentioned Cosmic. My dad's favorite restaurant in the world is Cosmic Pizza. He talks about it all the time. They do have a hot wiener pizza there that is super good.
Yeah,
that sounds like my heart literally just like.
I can hear my arteries closing.
Yes. Believe me, I love it, but you need to be prepared to not go out for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
It's great though, worth it. Anyways, moving on. Who's next?
I can go next.
I was gonna say, let's go in that crazy order that Mike wanted to go in.
Yeah, which we already didn't. So speaking of hot wieners,
no, you're going. You're doing it now.
I'm going. I'm good, and I'm just doing it.
Just do it. Go for it.
So
doing it
actually, and this is sort of a recent thing. And on the subject of hot wieners, Timmy's restaurant right down the road here in Warwick. Prilosec OTC.
I'm on prescription medication.
So Kate and I have lived in this house for 11 years and only started going to Timmy's about a year ago. But Timmy's has been around for almost 50 years. So, and the reason I had stopped there was I was coming home from the supermarket one day. We didn't know what we were doing for dinner. And I was coming home a different way than I usually go. And there was a giant sign on the sidewalk that just said, hot wieners. And I was on the phone with Kate and I was like, I know what we're having for dinner. We're having hot wieners. Mm-hmm. Literally like put the blinker on, turned into the parking lot and ordered them. And they are absolutely phenomenal. And any other food we've gotten there has been amazing. And that is the owner, Constantine, I believe. He's always there. He's making the food. Such a nice guy. Make some small talk with him every time I'm there. And it's just a cool little quaint place to go. It's on the side of the road. Well, I mean, it's not like
my mouth is watering. Literally, those look.
Oh man. Good. They're absolutely delicious. And sorry, Nana, I do not go to Cosmics anymore because Timmy's is about 2 minutes down the street from my house. So it's a lot easier to go there. And among other things, their fish and chips is great. They give you so much food for what you pay. So other restaurants, and not to badmouth any other restaurants, but usually when you get the fish and chips, you get a small cut and they throw it on top of some French fries in a take-home container and close it up. When you go to Timmy's restaurant, you get a take-home container with a giant piece of cod and another takeout container with your fries in it. That is how much food they give you. Also, anyone, if you like your fries well done, get them from Timmy's because he knows what well done fries are. So if you like crispy fries, get them. My favorite besides the hot wieners when I go there is also the Italian grinder. I don't know what sort of like juju magic he does to this thing, but he does this thing where he like wraps the foil and it's like a tent and it's so good. I don't understand. Things are like melted together, but the bread is not soggy, but there's dressing in there. I don't know what he does. It's so good. It's so good. I'm salivating just thinking about it.
Yeah. All right. So next party at your house.
Yeah. So good. But yeah, fun fact about Timmy's. It was a filming location for a movie called Donald Cried, which came out in 2016. And among other places, they recorded at Meadowbrook Lanes, which is a bowling alley not too far from here, the Knights of Columbus, and the Peter Pan bus terminal. Oh, but Timmy's restaurant was also in there. So, local movie, kind of big on the indie scene, I guess. I haven't seen it, but maybe I'll give it a watch so I can see Timmy's restaurant.
It's gonna have you in the bag eating wieners.
Love this place.
We have a lot of people that are already ready to try Timmy, so
this
hopefully
is like,
it'll be a sponsor.
Do you understand how I'm gonna like eat everything right after this episode? Like I'm just everything that you guys are describing. I'm like, oh god, I'm so hungry.
That's why I ate before we recorded.
I did too. I like stuffed my face, and this is not.
Oh. Hey, Burgie, what's up, man?
Timmy's is over in the Conimicut area. I used to live for about a year. I lived in Rocky Point, and I used to spend a lot of time in the Conimicut area. It's a really, it's kind of a vacant stretch a little bit, but there's some nice little places in between there. I actually used to go karaoke at a like a VW hall somewhere over there back in the day.
I thought you were gonna say that you used to live at Rocky Point, which I would have been like, yeah, I did go on that horror ride, and I definitely saw you in there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Tell them the dad sent you.
Yep.
All right, who's next? Is it me? I think it's me.
By Mike's logic, yes.
It's Bedlam. It's just anyone's just gonna go.
It's free for all, man. So I mean, I go two in a row.
Oh no, if it's you, no, you go for it.
No.
I don't want to go anymore. I don't want to hear from you twice in a row.
I don't want to do it.
All right, fine. I'll take it. So next restaurant I want to talk about, I'm sticking to the Cranston theme because that's where I'm from, grew up, is Macera's. So Macera's is an Italian restaurant. Really for like a long time, like it was kind of like a lot of people didn't really know about it. Like you had to know where this was. So previously it was on Oaklawn Ave, and it was like what was it? It was next to Mardi Gras. That club. So and it was like behind like all this other stuff. Like there used to be like a CD place that was over there. So
I remember that. Yeah.
So I stumbled into it and fell in love with it. The food is just fantastic. Me, when I go to an Italian place, like the staple is chicken parm. Like I want to make sure your chicken parm is up to par. And it is. It's they give you just the right amount of food inside of pasta, and they have this fantastic sauce. Macera's is really famous too for their like takeout soup and sauce. So Mike and my grandfather lived like down the street from there. So especially during COVID, he would like walk down and get some soup, get some pasta sauce, whatever. They have this little, I think it was called Grandma's Kitchen is what they called it. So this restaurant was started by David Macera, who was I believe he was a chef. So he started this restaurant, and now he is kind of passing this off to his daughter Megan, making it a 2-generation restaurant. They just moved into a new, bigger space on Reservoir Ave. So once we're in the clear over here, that'll definitely be a date night again. What's so great about this? Like, okay, it's cool. It's an Italian place. There's a picture of my wife's. That was either the baby. I think that might have been the baby shower, or our. No, that was from her right before our wedding. They have a banquet hall as well. This is a picture of the banquet hall, but you can see like the decorations in the background. What I was saying is like they create this ambiance. It's a very romantic type environment, and then it looks like the new space as well has that same vibe. And they decorate it basically to the season or the holiday. They play the music that kind of goes along with that too. So like if you're a big Christmas holiday kind of person, loved going there during the holidays. They would play the holiday music while you're sitting there. Just I don't know, it's just very quaint spot, and it looks like now they have a lot more space too, so which is great. That was kind of like the one thing we're always like, man, if they had a bigger spot, like but that's what made it special, was that you'd be there and it'd only be like 10 other tables. So like it was just had that vibe to it.
Looks good.
So
Nice.
Tina always got like seafood type stuff there, which and then anything Italian, veal farm, that there, that's what they got, and it's good.
Gotta get
Go
the
there.
pasta.
Yeah, I almost weekend I drove right by it, and I'm kicking myself because I would like to see what it looked like from the outside. I guess they took over the space where the old Galaxy restaurant was.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't live too far from there, and the place has always got a line outside the door. They're doing a lot of takeout with COVID and stuff.
Yes.
Place is always super busy.
Great.
The old spot, actually, if you haven't been in the Cranston Warwick line, they actually demolished the entire parking lot. So Mardi Gras is gone, and all of that huge building that had like the liquor store and the CD shop and the Dunkin' back in the day, and I think it was a Chinese or Vietnamese place for a while. They got rid of it all. It's actually turning into a Christie's Liquors this year.
Great. That's what we need. Is more liquor stores in Warwick.
What we need is a gas station over there. Until Cumbies, there was like no gas stations from Cumbies at the Warwick Mall all the way down Reservoir Ave. Because I live in Cranston, and legit, if you don't hit up that Cumbies and Warwick Mall, you can go all the way until you reach like Reservoir Park until you hit another gas station.
That's why in the corner they have a bike store.
That's right.
So when you run out of gas, you just buy a bike and make your way home.
I miss Mardi Gras. It's my old stomping grounds.
Is it?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, my band used to play there all the time, like every other week.
It turned into another one. I think it was called On the 5, which was a play on Oaklawn Ave being Route 5, and then also having 5 dance floors. But I never went. A bunch of my cousins used to go all the time. That was the Cranston thing to do, was go to Mardi Gras and hang out. But
pretty sure my wife got yelled at trying to learn how to square dance there.
Oh man, looks like in the fall they had a butternut squash ravioli with some type of cream sauce. It was delicious over at Macera's. So
yeah, nice. That's right up Tina's alley for sure. She probably has had it there.
I'll have to try it out. It's literally down there. It's walking distance from my house, so I will definitely have to order some takeout from there at some point.
Yeah, even if you don't go and sit down, like if you like soup, Really, really good stuff.
Nice.
What do you got?
All right. Well, hey, moving on. This was a date night that so whenever we get a chance to go on date nights, we always like to try a new place. So we always try to look up some different places. This is actually, what is it?
We need another date night soon.
A mandate.
Yes. Andy and I just need some new places. So one time we went out to Portsmouth, and this place is called 15 Point Road, which is actually located at 15 Point Road in Portsmouth.
Never guessed.
No, it's crazy. But the view was great. This is actually a picture I took on the date. The view is great, minus the dirt parking lot, but it was really nice. It's just a ton of really, really good seating options outside and inside. I did not actually sit inside, but there was plenty of room in there. This was when we went. I want to say it was pre-COVID, but or maybe right around. But just a great place. As you can see at night, you can also sit out there, and there's just a ton of really good. What
I just saw people wearing masks. So unless there's something else going on that day, I would think it's probably during COVID.
Possibly, I don't know. Oops. But yeah. So, anyways, 15 Point Road, Portsmouth, Rhode Island. It's just a really cool. It's right along the Sakonnet River, and so basically on both sides of the road is the water. It's always busy, but it's never crowded. It has some upscale dining there. There's a moonlit river view. It's kind of a traditional menu though, so it's got the local sea offerings that you would normally have for seafood. And if you could sit outside, it's just such a cool view to be sitting there watching the boats. There's a lot of fishing boats in the area, and it's just kind of a cool little gig. So I'm trying to remember what I got there, but I don't. I realized I've had that on that picture for a very long time, but here we are.
I was admiring their organizational skills with those wine bottles.
But there's a ton of stuff. I'm not a huge seafood fan, but there's a lot of options as well. But the lobster mac and cheese was a big hit with my wife. They also make a shrimp scampi and a lobster scampi, which is really, really good. For me, I stuck with a shepherd's pie. And the reason I get the shepherd's pie here, first off, I love shepherd's pie. But almost every place that I get shepherd's pie at, they put in vegetables where they don't belong. You've got peas in there. You've got some, why are you doing that?
Just corn,
it's supposed to be beef, corn, and mashed potatoes.
Yep.
And this place was the first one I went to that actually did that. And it was very, very good. So it's just made with really, really good ground beef. There's a tomato demi-glaze on it with some sweet corn, some Yukon Gold mashed potatoes. Super good. But there's a bunch of other things you can get there. I may or may not be reading off the menu currently, but it was very good.
You're planning your next trip.
It is a date night spot for sure. Or if you're just meeting someone down in the South County area, it's not too hard to get to. But the view is worth it. And even if you have to go in the winter, they have a huge bay window, I think, as well on the inside. So you still get the view if you have to eat inside. But a great place. Have either of you been there?
No, I've never even heard of it.
I never really ventured out to Portsmouth too much.
So my wife works down in South County, so she doesn't like to spend a lot of time out there. But we hit up Newport quite often, and Newport, Portsmouth, Bristol. We end up spending quite a bit of time out there and finding some new places. But that one was a good one. We haven't been there too many times, so we'll go back there at some point. But like I said, we like to try new places pretty much every time. But yeah, that's it. Mike, what do you got for us today?
Last one, finishing up with dinner time. See that I went in order: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hey, planning. So they have two locations now. One in West Warwick, one in Fall River, and I am talking about Bonehead's Wing Bar. Kind of an unsuspecting building. Doesn't really look like a restaurant from the outside, but inside, super cool. Everything is music themed. All the tables have cutouts for magazines of musicians and records, and the walls and everything are just covered with artwork and guitars. The lights above the bar are made out of old drum shells. And it's just a really cool environment. They play music videos, heavy metal, rock and roll. And it's just a cool place to be. It was actually, there's three co-owners as far as I know, one of them being Matt Corona. And our bands actually used to play together back in the day. My band Days Unknown played with his band Silverstead in Providence all the time. If anyone remembers The Call, Century Lounge, we did a charity show at Bo's Billiards at one time. It's very much tied to the local scene as well. There's some artwork for a local metal band called Thy Will Be Done that are sort of still active. They're from Providence. So there's some artwork in the wall there from those guys. But really the draw to this place is their wings. The picture that you had up earlier, RJ, was from one of the competitions they went to. There's a hot wings contest in Buffalo, New York every year, and they've won numerous awards. So that kind of tells you what you're getting into when you go there. They have over 55 different sauces, almost 30 dry rubs. You can do bone in, you can do boneless. So it really depends, whatever you're feeling that day, there's something on the menu. Everything on the menu is also music themed. So every sauce is tied to a song or a band. Some of my personal favorites, Orange Crush, which is like a orange glaze wing. They have Zombie, which is named after the Cranberries song. It's a cranberry habanero wing. There's Mamma Mia, which is like a garlic parmesan. And the first time I ever went there, I didn't even open the menu. I literally said to the guy, "Give me the hottest wings you have." And the guy was like, "Are you sure? I don't even eat those." And I said, "That's even better. Give me the hottest wings you have." And he's like, "All right, man, if you say so." So he brought the wings out, and I went ham. I was just cutting into them, just eating them. And I ate like 2.5 of them. And all of a sudden I could feel like the endorphin rush, like started getting lightheaded, and like I could feel like the beads of sweat like coming down. And you have a mouthful of food, and then the waiter always comes over and is like, "How's your food?" And I was like, "Man, these are hot. These are good." And he's like, "Yeah, man, you're taking it like a champ." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, they're so good though." And I just kept eating them. Like I didn't know what to do. Like they were so good, but they were so hot. And my buddy Ed happened to be there around the same time. He was a couple tables over, and he comes over and he's like, "Oh man, it's so good to see you here." And I said, "Yeah, it's our first time here." He's like, "Oh, what'd you get?" I was like, "I got the Hell's Bells wings." He's like, "What are you, nuts? It's the hottest thing on the menu." And I said, "Yeah, man, that's exactly why I got it." But super cool. Everyone that works there is awesome. Never had an issue. Even some of their appetizers are worth getting too. They have mac and cheese bites. They're like little deep fried pockets of macaroni and cheese. Yeah, dude, they're so good. Fried pickles. If anyone likes fried pickles, I love fried pickles. So good. The Cowboys from Hell is good. That's their Buffa-Q, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rick. But yeah, definitely go to Boneheads. It's in West Warwick, right across the street from the post office. Also a place that has sucky parking. I apologize for choosing all these places with crappy parking, but it's worth it. And again, you're definitely supporting local in this case, born and bred here in Little Rhode.
So here's the question for both of you. When you go out for wings, bone in or boneless?
I do boneless if I can. And for the reason that I am stupid and I always get the hottest wings on the menu, and then I would forget to wash my hands, and I would probably touch my eyes.
RJ, what about you? I think you're boneless.
Boneless as well. Boneless as well. Yeah, I don't like wings a lot, but boneless are good. I'm not a wing guy, so I hate to say it, but I would definitely try this place out.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, if I'm out at a restaurant, I will get boneless. But if I'm home I prefer bone. Like I just made wings the other night, buffalo wings, and you don't get as much meat, but it's just something about the.
I don't know.
I don't
like a rat. I don't like. I feel like I'm wasting food because I don't want to chew I don't want to chew near the ends. It just feels gross. I'm like I'm biting on this chicken's kneecaps. Like I just want.
We should all make our faces move. That's our next shirt.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh man. Well,
who wants to go next?
I think, is it me or is it you?
Whoever wants to go.
We didn't follow my rotation anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm about to inform the world of the greatest Italian food I have ever had in my entire life.
Well, hold on. You haven't had either one of my grandmother's Italian food. So before you say anything,
restaurants.
Okay, restaurants. All right.
Restaurants. Now this place is off Federal Hill. It is not on Federal Hill. So if you want good Italian food, you don't have to go to the hill. You can go right downtown, right across the street from Trinity Rep.
Support us.
Well, when you're on the show, then we'll talk about that. But for now, stay off the hill and go to Trinity Rep across the street. It's located right next to Providence Coal-Fired Pizza. It is called Rosalina. Rosalina is a place that I discovered kind of by accident. I was staying at the Dean Hotel, which is kind of a really cool hotel they have downtown with a karaoke bar downstairs. And we were looking for food, and Rosalina just happened to be the place. It is an amazing little place. And I'm telling you, I love Italian food. It's one of my favorites. And this place, just expectations are blown away every time. I went on dates there. I brought my dad there. It's nice enough to do both. There's also outdoor seating now with COVID all along the sidewalk, and they also do valet parking as well if you'd like to not have to find parking in that area. So unlike Mike's choices, mine, they'll park for you. But they have two things on the menu that I'm just going to point out because it's honestly some of the best things I've ever had in my life. Imagine this: fried dough topped with pomodoro sauce, some Romano cheese on it, drizzled with olive oil, and then placed in a plate of olive oil. It's the most unhealthy, amazing thing ever. It's basically a pizza doughboy in oil. It's an appetizer on the menu.
Sounds
super good. It's surprisingly not. It's just amazing. And then the second thing, the thing I always order are 3 meatballs over 3 very large cheese raviolis. But the thing that separates this is the meatballs themselves are cooked with cheese inside of them. And then the the ravioli themselves are made with burrata cheese instead of that kind of mushy ravioli cheese that you're used to. So this is more of a stringy mozzarella cheese.
Yes, ravioli cheese.
Ravioli.
Ricotta.
No. Go to the supermarket and be like, you got those ravioli cheese?
You got them cheeses with the ravioli cheese around it?
If anyone's listening, whatever the cheese is in, that's ravioli, the little mushy ravioli cheese. This is stringy burrata cheese, a very mozzarella cheese, and it's amazing. But anyways, they also have a really nice little bar area to sit in. I think I may have a picture of, no, I don't. But there's the menu, just in case you're looking. But just a ton of really, really good things. They have another big favorite is the Italian wedge. It's a very big iceberg lettuce with cherry tomatoes, some crispy pancetta on that, and some creamy gorgonzola dressing all over it. Super good. But you can there's also a little kids menu there too. So it is a place that you can bring your family if you want to as well. But this is definitely like kind of a nice place to bring a date or celebrate an anniversary. And it's within walking distance of Trinity Rep. It's within walking distance of, what's the other large theater down there?
P-Pack?
The P-Pack.
Yeah, P-Pack. P-Pack's probably like 3 blocks over, I think. And pretty much anywhere else you want to get downtown. I used to be super cheap, and I used to park at the Providence Mall and walk over from there. But it's very good. So if you're looking for some really good Italian food off the hill, Rosalina, and that's over on Aborn Street. And then they actually opened a secondary location, which is Greek food called Cleo's. And so if you're looking for some good Greek food made by the same great people doing Rosalina, they have Cleo's, which is over on Washington Street, I think, down in downtown Providence. Cool. Yeah, now available at Johnny's Salami Bin.
You can get that ravioli cheese at Johnny's Salami Bin.
Also, really cool picture done by the greatest photographer in Rhode Island.
I feel like this whole episode was just to get over your photography. Try to get some commissions.
I actually should stop talking about that because my other podcast friend is actually the greatest photographer in Rhode Island. He does it for a living and gets paid to do it, unlike me.
So first you want to plug your photography, then you plug your other podcast.
What do you mean? The 4-7 podcast? It's available on YouTube and Spotify?
And plugging your new restaurant, Johnny's Salami Bin.
Johnny's Salami Bin. Yeah.
All right. I think I'm last here. So I'm sticking to the Italian theme because, I mean, Rhode Island's infamous for Italian food. So if it says Italian on the outside of anywhere in Rhode Island, you're pretty much guaranteed a good meal. So I'm going to be talking about Marchetti's, the infamous Marchetti's, which is on Park Ave. Family owned, take out, dine in, whatever you want. They win awards up the kazoo. Like I was on their site and it's just like award after award. I'm like, I don't know if they need much more praise. You know, they're famous for their calamari, which I don't touch seafood, but you know, so I guess I'm not a real Rhode Islander because I don't eat seafood. But
I don't like seafood either.
I don't either.
Yeah. So this is located in the Knightsville neighborhood, which is, they call it Restaurant Row. There's a lot of restaurants basically on that strip in that corner. You're going to want to make a reservation for sure, or call in and you make sure you call in enough time too, because this place is packed, and it's packed for a reason, because it is absolutely delicious. And there's a lot of seating in there too. Like I'm not talking like it's not a small place that gets packed. It's a large location.
Every time I've been there, it's packed wall to wall.
Yeah. And what's so great about it, obviously the food is just, I mean, I love their meat sauce on their pasta. Again, chicken parm is my go-to. And when you go there, not only are you going to be eating for dinner, you have lunch for tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
It's like pounds of food. Like you walk out with the to-go container and you're just like, feels like you're carrying a newborn. So Marchetti's was established in 1982 by brothers David and Donald Marchetti. Been there for 30 years. Like I said, Tina loves the seafood there. Stuffed scrod, mashed potatoes, their salad. They have this fantastic salad dressing, which apparently now they sell in stores as well. So I might have to make it a trip to some places to get some salad dressing of theirs as well. Lasagna, stuffed shells, anything that you can think of. You're gonna go in hungry, and they're gonna have to roll you out when you leave. And there's been plenty of times where that's the case. Again, just like most of the places we talk about, parking, and it's not that they don't have plenty parking, it's because of how busy it is. Like plan your day, and you can't park across the street. Like You look across the street and you go, oh, there's a big lot over there. There's some establishments that are closed now, like for the night. Nope. They boot you out. There's somebody over there who's like, you can't park here. I'm like, I'm literally going to get takeout. And they're like, nope. I'm like, you suck. And now Tina's parents live literally down the street from there. So it's kind of like, we go over there and, if they don't feel like cooking, we're like, we know where to go. We know where to order. So yeah, that's how I'm ending my list.
That's a good ending.
It is.
It is. Yeah, I think it's one of the only places I think all of us have been to. Right.
I think if you've been in Rhode Island, like in that area.
Yeah. You've been there at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of restaurants that we could have chosen, and there will be plenty more. We may even have to do a second one here. This was in no way saying that every other restaurant is beneath these. No. There are just too many to choose. But just final choices again here. We got Rosalina up in Providence, the Treehouse Tavern in Warwick, 15 Point Road in Portsmouth, Macera's, King's Garden, and Marchetti's in Cranston, and Timmy's in Warwick, Boneheads in West Warwick, and Jigger's Diner in East Greenwich. In saying that, guys, there are plenty of other ones that we can choose. I don't want to give away too many of them in case we do a second episode, but what are some other ones you would have put on the list?
Newport Creamery was on my list. Even though there's like a zillion of them, it seems like no matter which one you go to, they're all pretty good.
Gotta get that awful.
See, I can't do the awfuls though because it makes me feel awful.
Don't make fun of me because I can't eat spicy things.
No. I just drink it. I just drink it too fast. It has nothing to do with lactose intolerance. I get the buffalo chicken grilled cheese, which is just buffalo chicken tenders with some cheese. And they put it in a waffle press. It's super good.
I think I get like a classic burger. Like,
yeah,
it's just so simple, but it's good. And obviously,
I go straight. Yeah, I go straight with like hot dogs and fries there. They do like a 2 or 3 hot dog combo there or something.
You can't go wrong. I
ice cream
like
sandwich.
Everything there. I say, the ice cream sandwich.
They actually do 2. Isn't that the place they do the 2 chocolate chip cookies with the ice cream in the middle? Then they also do an Oreo version with 2 Oreo.
I need to go there like now.
Yeah, super good. Pete's great with Tomaselli's at Rosario. I went there with Pete actually for one of the monthly food coupon giveaways. So that was a good place too. Yeah. Andy, you got some places?
I talked about the hot weenies, but Twin Oaks. So it's kind of a toss up when I was thinking about like what to talk about because Marchetti's and Twin Oaks are kind of like synonymous with in that particular area for Italian food. Another, I think it's a family establishment, but great, dining area. You always feel at home there. Again, another place where they're gonna roll you out because you're just gonna be stuffed afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the flavors alone, like you walk in there and the smell hits you, and you're like, already you're salivating. You're like, yeah. And I always used to get like they have like a chicken cutlet with brown gravy. And then I found out I don't mix well with brown gravy anymore, and it kills me. It kills me because I see it on the menu, and I'm like, I want it, but I don't want to die. So,
yeah, that's a good place too. Ogie's Trailer Park. Thanks, Pete. That's a really fun place down on in Providence.
We went there.
Yeah, it's a good place. They got like a million tater tots. Yes, you're right. We did. Yeah, they'll probably do that again coming up. For me, the kind of family go-to restaurant, Greg's restaurant, which has the best dessert ever made, the Death by Chocolate cake slice, who even Barack Obama came to get one time down in North Main Street in Providence. But I go to the Warwick one quite often because that's the closest one to me over on Post Road.
It's funny because like that's the thing, Death by Chocolate cake. Like no matter what, I have to bring a piece home. And there's all these other places like restaurants that I've been to that, like Tino, I got you. It's like a Death by Chocolate. And I take like one bite and I'm like, this is not Death by Chocolate.
You throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
This imposter.
She's like, give it back.
Yeah, I get mad. I get mad.
Yeah.
Why are you calling it Death by Chocolate? That's not what it is. It's like mediocre chocolate, but not
like this
Greg's.
is.
But Greg's
in the hospital. Chocolate, but not Death by Chocolate. Like
it's like you see the light for a moment, chocolate, but you're not.
Yeah. It's urgent care chocolate. But yeah, no, that's a great place, Greg's. I would have also chosen, if we're going to go kind of off our Italian mix here, Baja's, which has been opening location after location. I saw them on Thayer Street twice, and now they're over in Cranston, and I think there's another one in Rumford.
It's one in Wakefield.
Wakefield. They're super good. Probably my favorite Mexican in Rhode Island right now. And then Taste of India in Providence, over on Wickenden Street, has some of the best Indian food I've ever had. And then I actually have to shout out to my friends who opened up their own restaurant in Providence during the pandemic, and it's been a success. It's over near Trinity Rep as well, where Birch used to be, I think it is. It's called Res American Bistro. And they've got both floors there. There's 2 floors, so you can actually sit and see a nice view of Trinity Rep. And so that's a really, really cool place. North Attleboro, I guess, just has a Baja's too. And one that made my list, and I had to kick it out because we went for 3 instead of 5, was Cersei in Providence. They also have an East Greenwich location. They have a cool building in downtown Providence where it's a 2-floor building, and you can sit on a table, at a table, not on it, right in front of the window. And
they'll kick you out if you sit on the table, just to be clear.
Yeah. And it's right next to the Old Need location, the Old Need Donuts location, and the arcade mall downtown. So really cool place. Mike, you got any others you would have chosen?
Yeah, there's a little place down the street from us. I don't know if it's the same owners and they changed the name or if it changed ownership, but it's called La Familia Tacos. Super, super good. So the first time we had ordered there, we didn't know what we wanted for dinner. I just opened DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever it was, and we were just in the mood for, burritos, tacos, whatever. So La Familia popped up, ordered the food, and I was like, wow, these burritos are super tiny. I feel like we just got ripped off. Made it halfway through the burrito and felt like I was going to pass out on the floor because they pack so much food into this tiny little burrito. And it might be the first time I've ever eaten a burrito without putting any sort of sauce on it. The meat was so good. It was like super succulent. They didn't go crazy like filling it with all the extra stuff. Like it wasn't just filled with rice with just a little bit of meat in it. It was just a really good really good burrito. And then I also ordered what I thought was 2 churros, but it was really 2 orders of churros. So we ended up with an entire takeout container full of churros. And I think I ate about half of them. So that night was not good. Between literally eating the entire burrito and then half of a takeout container of churros was not a good night for me, but it was so worth it. So worth it.
So crazy question, if you guys can think about it, and if anybody at home wants to answer this question as well, can you name a restaurant that you love that has closed down or is no longer in Rhode Island?
Oh yeah.
Any restaurants? What do you got, Mike? Sure.
Egg Roll Cafe. My guys at Egg Roll Cafe. There used to be one right over here by Hoxie Four Corners. It was their second location. The first one's up in Lowell, Mass. But we actually became pretty close with the owners, Mike and Meng. Just as me just sort of going in there one day and actually partnering with them to do some events for a store, for a company that I was working for at the time. And we just became really close. So close that after we had our first child, our first stop home from the hospital was to Egg Roll Cafe to get food to bring home. But pre-COVID, Kate and I would take a drive up to Lowell, Mass, which is about an hour and 40 some odd minutes for us, just to go and get the food. And it's not just egg rolls. The name has egg roll in it, but they do flavored egg rolls like buffalo chicken, pizza, steak and cheese. They have breakfast ones with like egg and bacon and all that kind of stuff. But they have other stuff too, where it's all Asian food, but it's all different types of Asian foods. They have Japanese hamburger steaks. They have some Chinese inspired stuff. They have spicy Korean pork, which was one of my favorites. And they even have some desserts from a local bakery up there, like some tiramisu and some stuff like that. They do bubble tea. They do cappuccinos and espressos, and they literally run the gamut, and everything is amazing. I have not had anything there that I did not like. including what I think is called tokoyaki. I don't even know what it's called. Anyways, it's like a ball of dough with like octopus in it, and they put like these flakes on it, and it's like a living organism. Like it literally moves on the plate. And they gave it to me for free because it wasn't on the menu yet, and they wanted me to try it. And I was like, I don't know what this is. He's like, it's octopus something or other, and look at this cool stuff. It moves when you put it on the top. I still ate it. It was good. It didn't taste like octopus or fish or anything. It was like fried dough with a bunch of goo on it. It was delicious. But anytime
you had me till goo fried dough.
Yeah, goo fried dough. Well, you're the one eating doughboys slathered in olive oil. So,
oh my word, it's so
Johnny
good.
Salami.
The pizzetti frite.
But yeah, Egg Roll Cafe. I miss them.
So you were very prepared for this question.
Yeah.
I feel like you had written that down somewhere. Andy, what about you? Any places that are gone?
I got nothing.
All right, awesome. Well, I actually just went to this place, but it is no longer what it was. So I went to California Taco Shop over on
I love that
Post
place.
in Elmwood. It's a great place.
Yeah.
I went there tonight on Post in Elmwood to grab some food on the way home right before the podcast. It used to be Harry's Hot Wieners.
Yep.
And Harry's Hot Wieners had the picture on the wall with the dude with the wieners all up his arm, his hairy arm and stuff, which added flavor. But it was very, very good. I remember I used to work at Walmart on Post Road overnight, and I would go there for lunch, which was like 1 a.m., for overnight Walmart. And I would eat like 9 or 10 hot wieners when I was younger. I can only eat 2 or 3 now. But when I was young, man, I was housing them. And
you must have had a lot of friends at Walmart after.
No wonder why they went out of business. You ate all their food.
And I'm still going there now and just getting tacos now.
Yeah.
I got 6 tacos tonight from there, and they're very good.
That building is where Cosmic's Pizza used to be until they moved across the street.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So I no hatred to Cosmic, but my dad and mom love Cosmic, and so I never wanted to go to Cosmic. They love Cosmic and they love 99, and they're like, "Oh, it's the best food ever." I was like, "Yeah, okay, Dad." And so I never went. But I did go to Cosmic this past year because I heard they had a hot wiener pizza, and I was blown away. Super good. Everybody's super nice in there, by the way.
Yeah.
I haven't tried too much other food there, but that alone was worth it. And they also sell doughboys there, their own version of the kind of balled up doughboys rather than the flat plate ones, kind of like Iggy's. But they're a little denser, a little heavier. But they're a very cool place. Still can't give you the okay on 99 yet, but Cosmic's okay.
I like 99.
Yeah, 99.
All right, well, okay, so maybe my dad has something. But yeah, anyways, hey, thanks guys for joining us tonight. Thank you to all of the people who are commenting tonight on the different places. Feel free, once we actually edit this episode and put it out, we will put all the links to the restaurants that were named tonight, at least the top 9. And we'll put their websites on there, and hopefully we'll get a deal at some point, and we'll be able to sell shirts at Marchetti's. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Tell them the dad sent you.
Yeah.
No, get out.
And they'll look at you weird. Wait like 4 weeks before you tell them that the dad sent you, because they won't know.
Yeah, just be like, we're from Johnny Salami's bin. And
You just walk into Marchetti. You walk into Marchetti's, be like, the father sent us.
The tree fathers.
The 3 fathers. Yes.
You father at me hello. You know that you father at me hello.
So
by the way, so my family.
So something cool. So on BandLab, which is where RJ and I post some music. It's a music site. There was a person that reached out to us about our podcast, and we had done an interview with them about our music. So they're actually streaming our stuff on BandLab every week. She goes by the name of Angie. So if you're looking for some cool interviews of some unheard of musicians, basically trying to get their name out there, she has a YouTube page called Angified. Take a look for it and enjoy, and look forward to that partnership.
Yeah, should be cool.
Yeah. And there it is, just in case you're looking for it.
And we'll probably, we'll post the links of our video when that comes out. You can hear us talk about our songs and technical difficulties and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, if you're looking to watch something after this, it looks like they're premiering a new episode currently with Breaking It Down with Beck, which was the episode that we actually, well, not this episode, but it was a show that we did an interview on our music for. So,
and you can see RJ likes to watch Fail Army a lot.
Yeah.
It says the guy who watches it with me.
Yeah, I watch it too. A lot of people fail.